Hello, I'm Matt Lowndes, and I'm very happy to have the wonderful Chair of Hope Project here today, here at LTV. I'll be interviewing them about their awesome project. So, without further ado, I'm going to immediately introduce our three guests today. We have Naomi Hogarty. Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Kathy Burns. Kathy, how you doing?
Good, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. And Charles Wildbank. Charles, how are you doing?
You're good.
Good. Awesome. Well, I would love to get started right away. Of course, I need to begin with, how did this project come to be? What is the project? And how did all three of you and me get in this room today?
Sure. So, if I could speak first. Originally, I had done something called the Christmas Trees for Sandy Hook down at the Windmill in East Hampton Town. And what happened was a lot of people came and they put decorations on the trees. Flash forward 10 years later, all these horrible violences by guns, and people are started writing to me saying, what do we do about this? How can we take care of our grief? What can we do to help? What can we do to process this? So one night I woke up and thought, Uvalde, Texas, 21 people died. And so I thought, why couldn't we do chairs and look like a classroom? Have the two teachers' chairs and have the chairs on, in lines, and a chalkboard that said, end gun violence now. Because it's not just about the children, it's about everyone. I was talking to my sister, and she said, wow, my sister Patty, and she said, wow, I just spoke with my friend Naomi, and we were saying how we wanted to do something about this because we felt so frustrated. And that's when we started to collaborate. And Naomi and Patty and I came up with the idea of the chairs as they were. And then Naomi came up with the idea about the artist painting the chairs. And that's where, it just started to grow. And it was just a beautiful event, and we brought in speakers, poetry, we had singers there, and that was at St. Michael's Church in Amagansett on August 21st.
Now, we are very lucky that there's never been a school shooting in our districts, at least not in recent, not even within the same century. And I do want to ask, you started in 2010 with Sandy Hook and with the Christmas trees. Is it frustrating that we still deal with this from your personal opinion? And now, you did the chairs, but if we're being honest, it's probably going to happen again, a school shooting.
Yeah, and isn't that a terrible thought? I have, for the last 10 years, I have been fighting against gun violence. Get us stricter gun laws. I've done not just the Sandy Hook Christmas trees. I've worked with Moms Demand Action. I've been on different organizational boards, and I have fought for the end of gun violence. And every year we put a Christmas tree in front of the windmill, and I say to myself, is this really enough? No. But awareness is the number one thing that's going to stop this. And if we can get enough awareness out there, I truly believe that people will start getting on board more and more. We had 75 people at our event on August 21st. And to me, that was fantastic for East Hampton and Amagansett. And as the project was out there for 3 weeks on display, people would be honking their horns as I was out there setting up the chairs every morning and every night when I was putting them away. People were stopping, and they were visualizing it and looking at each one of these chairs and what the artists thought about these chairs and their thought process, and how each person, even an 8-year-old girl, how it helped her. It healed her a little bit to know that her chair was going to be on display and be able to take care of maybe another child who was feeling hopeless. And maybe that child could paint or write or, say something. Isn't that what they're teaching our kids now? Say something. Say anything. If you're worried, if you're scared. I don't want my kid under a desk. I have a 17-year-old still. And that fear every day. Now he's going off to college.
Yeah,
my grandson.
And they say a false alarm is better than nothing.
Yes.
You better to speak up and it's not. I know kids will often look at it as snitching or telling on your. That's not what it is.
No.
We're talking about legitimate human safety, and it's better to have a legitimate false alarm than a legitimate accident. Naomi, I'd love to know, how did you get involved with this project, and what was, really your part in it?
So as Kathy mentioned, her sister Patty and I were kind of we were thinking along the same lines of doing something, having something visibly available for people to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget, every day, like together we can do something.
Mm-hmm.
Together we can push legislation. Together we can raise more awareness. And so we thought about this as a full, full kind of the installation, but also including local artists. I would say 75% of the artists are from eastern end of Long Island, and then we have a couple of another phenomenal 5 artists from Westchester
Yep.
area. So their vision of what this process, what this chair of hope, what is their hope? What was your story behind your chair? The artists were I get chills thinking about each of these chairs and each of the stories that they tell. They're so individual, they're so beautiful, they're so powerful. And so for anyone to come, this is gonna be an installation that is gonna travel around.
Good.
So it's gonna be here at LTV on World Peace Day.
Mhm.
So people can come and read about the artists and see these incredibly powerful chairs. Then we're hoping to have another location on the eastern end of Long Island. Again, we had music, we had poetry, we had poems from teenagers that were so powerful that would make you stop in your tracks to think about what's happening in our country
Mhm.
every day.
Yeah.
What is the statistic? It's 100
110 people die
Every
every
day.
day from gun violence.
every day. So I think that the inclusion of all of this beautiful art, art really speaks to people.
Mhm.
And that's how I reached out to so many East End artists that I know, that I admire, and their work is always so prolific.
Mhm.
And Charles is one of those artists, and his chair, when we saw his chair, he sent me a picture,
Mhm.
all of us just started crying. We were
Yes.
like, this is what we want.
Yeah.
We want something so powerful that you cannot turn away.
Now, Charles, I think it's your turn, obviously, now. Tell me a little bit about what went into your chair as we're going to be able to look at it. I want to know, what made you want to do this to begin with, and what went into your design and thought process in your chair?
I first heard from Naomi about this Chairs at Hope project, and it struck a chord, and it's something that I believed in, to be against gun violence, and my original aim was to put a face on this tragedy, a child's face, and so I did the child portrait,
Mm-hmm.
and so I painted it. I put the yellow tape, the police crime scene and all that, and I wanted to bring out the awareness of all the parents and the teachers and all those concerned to really feel what the scene was like. These victims were killed and without any provocation.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would think that crimes with guns are done by revenge and all that stuff, but there was no provocation on the child's part. It was a peaceful setting. This school, there's no place for violence. It never was until these automatic weapons came into the scene.
Mhm.
Something has to be done about it. I tried to capture and encapsulate all that into that chair. The little chair for a 5-year-old child would really hit many people.
Yeah, I think one of the bigger conversations around Uvalde was, and you saw it in other shootings, but it really came to light after Uvalde, was the impact that AK-47 bullets and the gun as a whole has on a child's body. In some cases, we've seen some photos via the trials. It's brutal. It's horrific. And I think that's why, to me, using small kid chairs has such a bigger impact. But I also think at the same time, teachers are also often forgotten in these tragedies. While they're talked about in the immediate sense, it's always school shootings. You think of kids. You could bring up the teacher whose husband had a heart attack right after. I personally consider him another victim of this shooting.
Absolutely.
I think it's inadequate and irresponsible not to. But Charles, it does make me wonder. I would love to know, were you emotional when making this chair? Did you have different emotions compared to other artwork that you do?
Well, as a rule, I do many portraits of children and adults alike. I've been doing it for 50 years. And it's a means of communication because I'm visually oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And back in high school, I remember doing portraits of those deceased students. If someone died, I'm the one asked to do
Oh,
the
wow.
portrait, and it'll be in the yearbook.
Wow.
So that was like a tradition for me. And not just the deceased, but living as well. And children, like the bedrock of our society, for the generations to come, they are so important. And for that to happen to children, it's like a big red flag, a huge red flag, has spilled over. The violence has spilled over into our classroom, which is uncalled for. And so, in doing the painting, I did my usual, without much emotion. I had the picture in my mind, and I'm painting this, and it stuck. That they resemble the gravestone in Egypt from during Roman times
Mm-hmm.
in the 1st century BC, before Christ. These victims were placed on the mummies, and I looked at my chair and it looked just like the Egyptian portrait, and they have brown skin. That's one thing. And if you look up the Egyptian mummy portrait, that's what really hit me after I finished the chair.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think, let's get back to the event a little. I think one of the cooler parts is about having any type of event out here. I remember going to the Ukraine Light event up at the windmill. What type of things were you told and heard from people, just regular citizens who showed up? What was the type of impact that they had during the event?
Go on, Kathy.
I think the first thing that I heard was, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for letting me put my grief somewhere. Because this has been so difficult. And when it's children, especially when it's children, the loss of the life. And it's so senseless, right?
It almost feels as though it's our country. It is everyone's child.
Yes.
When a child dies in a school shooting, it's not just the parents anymore. It's America's children.
Right. You look at those parents who were grieving. That could be us.
Mhm.
That could be us every day. And there's no reason that says it can't be us. And that's the scariest part of it all. And I think the most important thing that we need to put out there, one of the most important things, is we're not trying to take people's gun rights.
Yeah.
We are asking you, please, please, tighten up the laws.
Mhm.
There's no reason for these guns. No reason whatsoever.
It's unfair to a deer.
Oh.
People say they hunt. It's a little unfair.
Yeah.
Naomi, your thoughts?
So I think the feedback we got was overwhelmingly emotional.
Yeah.
People were very inspired by the art, by the poetry, by the music. It was super, super powerful. I think we also are, our if anyone wanted to donate or really just sign
Yeah.
up, or, it was, Moms Demand Action. And it's not that we need to raise, we do need to support them because they are helping to move the legislation. And I think the important thing is, with elections coming up is, you have power.
Yeah.
You have power.
Yeah.
And you just make your voice known.
Yeah. And we are running out of time here. It goes so fast. Charles, yeah, tell me your
I
thoughts.
want to emphasize safety.
Yeah.
There are almost as many guns as our population
Yeah.
right now, and
More.
there should be some safety. We should raise the bar of safety, and still, if they must keep their guns in their closet to protect our children and keep the gun from getting into the wrong hand.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
That, like a lock or something, maybe it'd be more digitized where, like if it's a nuclear device, you would have all these
Yeah, you're right.
stages where you can pull the trigger. Right now it's very wanton.
Yeah.
It's like, whoops,
Yep.
taking the lives of children.
You're right.
And it's not of natural cause. Their lives are taken away.
It's not just school shootings. There's
No,
shootings
it's-
every day
Every day.
that randomly kill innocent children.
It's
And not just children,
unjustifiable
it's
theft.
adults, it's veterans, it's,
It's not even including suicide.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot. But
Yeah.
the other thing is, we do remember that this is Chair of Hope.
Yeah.
There is hope.
Yeah.
We have hope.
Right, and that one chair we created that was orange, that was set in the center, was our chair of hope,
Yeah.
is our chair of hope. And we want to carry that 22nd chair through to tell people, follow us, do this with us, because this is the chair of hope. This is our project, we wanna stop gun violence now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the powerful message those chairs of hope will deliver is that these chairs are empty.
Yeah.
They're vacant.
Yeah.
Where are the children? They're not in their chairs. It's empty, devoid of life. And that's a very solemn message. And
Yeah,
I'm really grateful for the project, the Chairs of Hope, really.
Now I gotta ask to wrap up here, so to speak. What's next for the Chair of Hope? Where do we go from here, moving forward? Other than obviously this chair installation, what could be next?
Well, we are hoping that this inspires other communities
Yeah.
to do similar projects. We're gonna have, sadly, Sandy Hook's 10th anniversary is coming up this December.
Wow.
They have a lot of things planned, but let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget.
right.
Don't forget, and like Charles said, these chairs void of children is what's so powerful.
And we're so grateful that LTV is going to host us
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
on October
No,
14th.
we're thankful.
The chairs will be here on display for 2 weeks for all people to see. We encourage people to come and see them and give their thoughts and, help us continue this to go forward. And
Spread the word.
I do want to say one thing. We'd like to thank the Riverhead Community
Yes,
Baptist
yes,
Church.
yes.
Because when we put the word out for the 22 chairs, they came up and said, we love what you're doing, and they gave them to us.
Donated all of the chairs,
All of them.
22 tiny little chairs,
Mhm.
and then the 2 teacher chairs.
Wow.
We are so
Yeah.
grateful
Yeah.
for
Well,
everyone involved.
Yep.
Too.
thank you so much for Charles, Naomi, Kathy. I'm Matt Lowndes. Thank you so much. If you guys just want to say goodbye to everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you.
We
Follow
appreciate
us.
it. Follow us on Instagram.
On Instagram, Chair of Hope.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.